It's a busy session, which is good, and we've only got 15 minutes, and both of us like to chat, so we're going to try and keep it on point. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Caroline Cook. I have spent 25 years telling stories for some of the biggest brands like ITV, Channel 4, a little bit of Channel 4, and then Dentsu. I now run my own consultancy, helping businesses tell better stories. But we're not about me today. We're about Mark, who has been recently appointed as sales leader, nations and regions for Channel 4. There was a lot of chat about the word regions in one of the earlier sessions, so we might get into that. He might be new in role, but he's a familiar face at Channel 4, having been there in various roles since 2013. And before that, he was one of us Northern agency folk, and he was at Mediacom North as planning director.
That's correct.
So we've got the intros done. By the way, I should say I'm also in the north. I know I sound like an awful southerner, but I live in Newcastle, so even further north than here. So getting down to it, I mean, Channel 4 are one of those unique UK broadcasters with a remit to kind of champion unheard voices and to serve all of the UK. Your new role, tell us a little bit about your priorities and why it's important to delivering that remit.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone, by the way. You mentioned, I'm going to start actually, because you mentioned our remit at the beginning of that question. That sort of sits at the heart of everything that answers the question you've just asked. So we're in quite a unique position at Channel 4 in that we're a public service broadcaster, and we were set up to represent unheard voices and to challenge opinion and to create debate within the UK society, and obviously, like you said, to represent the whole of the UK. And that's a big part of what we do and an important part of what we do. If you go back about maybe 10 years or so, there were less than 25 people that worked for Channel 4 outside of London. I'm not going to say region, so I'm going to try not to. So there's less than 25 people that work for Channel 4 outside of London. And like where we are now, there is a commitment from Channel 4 to have 600 roles that sit outside of that London, outside of the London M25 bubble. And, we're well on track with that. We've got 500 roles, over 500 roles actually currently in place now. And, that's an important part of what we're doing at Channel 4. It makes us a better organisation to work for, and a better organisation, more rounded organisation to work in as well and work with. In terms of me, my role is, I've got the privilege of leading the Manchester sales team, which I'm really proud of, actually. I'm really looking forward to sort of getting started with all this. And I do, I've got a couple of priorities that are going to at least take me into the next sort of 12 to 18 months or so. And they sort of sit around our core principles of what our sales strategy is. So the first one, really simply, is to get closer to the advertisers. And you'll hear our Chief Commercial Officer, Rak Patel, talk a lot about being advertiser obsessed. And, that's what we want to be, but we've got to do it whilst sort of being aligning ourselves with our agency partners that we deal with day in and day out. So that's really important, getting closer to our advertisers. Second priority is, for me, is going to be getting that balance right between a sales approach and a service approach. And that involves a much more consultative process that we'll have with our agencies and with our advertisers, understanding, what their business needs are, how we can help them. We're not going to go in and just sell you products willy-nilly. We want to understand your businesses, we want to understand how we can help and how we can get more advertisers onto TV.
Amazing. And you recently announced that you're expanding the team in Manchester into new offices. With your kind of broader remit, why Manchester? Why is Manchester the place that the commercial team needs to expand? Have you got any plans of anywhere else expanding?
Well, I think let's focus on the Manchester office first. Manchester office, the new Manchester office that we moved into in St Michael's earlier this summer, is incredible. It's really good. So if we work with you currently, or you want to work with us, have a chat with some members of the team or with myself. Come in, we'll make you a cup of tea, grab a coffee, might even get the biscuits out as well. Come and have a chat with
Big
us.
Stuff.
And take a look at it, because it's a great space that we're looking to work in. But my team, the sales team that sit and are based in Manchester, cover the whole of the market outside of the M25. So anything from the south coast of the UK right up to the north of Scotland and everything in between. And we've got a team that is based in Manchester and is able to do that. About 50%, slightly over 50% actually, of the revenue that comes through the door in our Manchester office comes from advertisers and agencies that are within a 5 or 10 minute walk from our office. So commercially, it makes a lot of sense to be scaling up, based in Manchester, but also to be scaling up Manchester as well. And it also makes sense from a geographical point of view because it's really easy to get to other places in the UK to see all our customers. But yeah, so we've worked really hard as a business over the last sort of 6 or 7 years to increase our footprint across the UK. We've got 5 offices now across the UK, and that my team have got flexibility to work from any of those offices when they need to sort of service the clients and agencies that we work with. So after this, I'm actually heading over to Leeds to do a meeting with one of our agencies over in Leeds. Next week, we're up in our Glasgow office, seeing one of our advertisers. So having that flexibility is, really important. But we've only been in the Manchester office for a couple of months, so our focus is making sure that getting that off the ground and making sure that we've got everyone in the office that we need to get in there. Exciting times, though.
Indeed. So I guess one of the biggest questions for people in the room might be, you said recently in a Media Leader article with the lovely Jack, that Channel 4 aims to democratise access to TV advertising and diversify its advertiser base. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you plan to do that? There's a lot of barriers, or perceived barriers, to TV.
Yeah. I think what this stemmed from was there's 3 million advertisers in the UK at the moment. This is a stat that gets thrown around quite a lot. There's 3 million advertisers in the UK at the moment. Only 7,000 of them use television. And that for me is mind-blowing that such a small amount of the UK advertisers use TV. And what that kind of tells us is that they see a barrier to using TV. They think it's too expensive or for whatever reason they can't get into it. And that's a bit of a problem, but it's also a big opportunity for us and the other broadcasters as well, actually, to sort of tap into. Because we know when an advertiser launches himself on TV for the first time, it's transformative. It's transformative for their brand. It can really change the way that business operates. Search terms, their search goes up, their web visits go up. It moves brand metrics, brand awareness, brand consideration. And we know through the brilliant study that Essence Mediacom did with ThinkBox that it's profitability too. If you haven't read it or you're not familiar with it, that it delivers on an ROI point of view as well, better than any other media out there. So, TV works for advertisers when they come on air, and I suppose, and when they do come on air, like their brands grow for a number of reasons, because TV delivers 3 things, I think, in my opinion. Delivers truth and trust for brands. There's a reason why advertisers put as seen on TV on their products, on their websites, rather than as seen on Facebook or Snapchat. Sorry if there's anyone in here from either of those companies.
No offence.
Not sorry, really. But yeah, so that's that fame and that fame that it kind of delivers there, and the trust and truth is really important. Scale TV offers. So, TV reaches 90%, TV in its form of streaming and linear reaches 90% of the adult population in the UK every week. That's unrivaled. That is absolutely huge. And then the third thing is the sort of impact and the emotional side of getting your brand on TV. And, we're watching Educating Yorkshire at the moment. I don't know whether anyone else in the room is watching it. But I challenge anyone to watch that programme and many programmes like it. without feeling the emotion of the stories that come through it, the pupils, the teachers, the parents. And that's the sort of stuff that brands want to be around. They want to be around content that triggers emotions in the viewers. It's a very long-winded way of sort of saying what there's certain things that we're doing as well. So, you know, we want to bring advertisers onto TV so that they can benefit from all of that stuff I've talked about. And we've got a couple of things that we do at Channel 4. We've got the greenhouse product that we've got, which was set up a number of years ago actually to really help support and grow new advertisers coming onto TV. And that sort of support and growth comes through from helping you make creative if you're a brand. It comes through helping you plan TV. It comes through helping measure it and making sure that it actually delivers what the people signing off the budgets in your organisation expect it to deliver. And we've also got an element of fund matching as well that we do for those new to TV advertisers. So greenhouse is a really important bit. The second thing that I think is really live in the market at the moment is the thing that was announced earlier this summer by ourselves and ITV and Sky, which is Universal Ads, which is a self-serve ad platform, really targeting those SMEs and new to TV advertisers. And it's the first time, you know, an advertiser will be able to self-serve an ad themselves and, you know, the click of a button simultaneously be broadcast across all three broadcasters. So that's quite exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I guess if I was a brand in the room, I'd be saying that all sounds lovely and everybody knows that telly works because telly's worked for a long time, but what about cash? What about budgets? And I know people don't like to talk about actual numbers, but kind of how expensive is it to start on TV? Because I think that is one of the biggest perceived barriers to entry. Is like I get to a certain point growing through performance and then I need telly, but I need hundreds of thousands of pounds to make that creative and get on that airtime.
Yeah, I think, look, we get asked this question all the time, and it's very rare that an advertiser will come on TV for the first time and spend £1 million, £2 million in one go. A lot of advertisers come on and test, maybe a geo test in a region, and they might spend anything from £4,000 or £5,000 on a campaign, right up to 100,000, 200,000.
I like this. You gave me a number. That's good.
I gave you a number.
Yeah. That's good. Impressive.
But that's to actually buy the audiences. The other challenge, obviously, is then making the ad, which can often feel like a barrier. But I'm sure there's a number of creative agencies out there, and we're doing exactly the same at Channel 4, where we're trying to help advertisers break down that barrier by offering AI solutions. I've mentioned AI, and I know it's the bingo word of the day, but we've got a Gen AI tool that will make a TV ad for new to TV advertisers for some really sort of barrier breaking numbers, really. So yeah, it's more accessible than it's ever been.
Okay, and I guess, for the people in the room, you're increasing your presence up here. How do they go about taking advantage of that? Especially for some of the independents that might not have existing relationship, they might have diversified their set of services and they're kind of doing more media. Like, how do they take advantage of you? Particularly today while you're here and people can corner you afterwards.
Yeah, well, I think my team work across sort of three core areas of our customer business. So we've got our core base of network agency partners that we work with day in and day out. We work with quite a small number of advertisers direct who don't work with agencies. And then, like you said there's the growing number of independent agencies that we operate with. And we've got specialist teams that deal with all three of those sectors within Channel 4. But it's the sort of, I think it's that growth of the independent agencies. Like we'll deal with, I think I was looking the other day, there's a 25% increase in the number of independent agencies we deal with this year versus what the numbers that we dealt with 4 or 5 years ago. That's a big increase. So there's more of them now delving into TV for the first time. And I think in terms of taking advantage of myself and the team and how we can work with you, come and speak to us. Like we want to help more advertisers get onto TV. We want to help you grow brands. If you're an agency or if you're an advertiser, come and speak to us, because we will do our damn best to find ways to break down the barriers to get you onto linear or streaming at Channel 4.
And I guess it wouldn't be a session for today if we didn't talk about the North and what exists outside of London. You were a Northern agency person before you went to Channel 4. How well do you know that conflict between what people think, when people think they have a footprint outside of London, and what actually exists outside the M25? And what does it take to do that well, to have a strong regional footprint and actually take advantage of being in those places?
Yeah, so I mean, I for anyone that doesn't know, I worked agency side for a number of years before moving to Channel 4. So the agencies I worked in had footprints in London and sort of across the UK as well. So I've been quite lucky to sort of had that experience. But I think sometimes it's about finding that balance. So I'm lucky at Channel 4 that we do have we do have a level of independence from our London office. Our HQ, our national HQ, is based in Leeds. So I think the one bit of advice I give is, call upon your colleagues in other offices, wherever they're based, whether it's London or Scotland or, in the north of the UK. Call upon them when you need them, but really fight for that level of independence to have the autonomy to make the decisions and to make those business choices that are important to you and your team at any one time. And for us at Channel 4, the office in Man, it's more than just an office. We've got an amazing bunch of people that work for my team, and just please give us a shout and try and engage with us, because hopefully we can help some of you guys in the room as well.
Excellent. Someone went like this at me, which means I need to shut up, even if it happens at home.
It's probably me that needs to shut up, isn't it?
Thank you, Mark, and thank you everyone for coming to listen.